thank you so much to all of you, all of the students who've organised this rally today, for inviting the trade union movement to be a part of it. And thank you for showing the leadership that your government has failed to show you for so many years. Unions have a long and proud history of standing up for industrial and social causes. We are often criticised by those who hold power for challenging the status quo or demanding uncomfortable change. Does that sound familiar to anyone here? Yes! So, and we do these rallies a lot. We love them. It's not the only reason I'm here though. You probably can't keep us away from a good strike. But it makes us feel much better if you're really noisy. So if you hear something you don't like, shame is very good, and so are cheers, okay? Now, unions fight for fair pay, for secure jobs and for safety at work. But we also fight for the future of jobs and for dignity at work. And that's why we're here today, because climate change is a workers' issue. It affects every industry and every sector. And one of your demands is a just transition. And I want to talk a bit about that. I'm going to talk really specifically from a worker's perspective. You've got enough people here who've talked about the science. Everyone that's here, we get the science, right? Unlike our leaders. But I want to talk to you about just transition. And I want to make a clear point that when we talk about just transition, we're not talking about some magical thing that might happen sometime in the future, because transition is happening now and there's no plan for it. Renewables are being built, industries are shutting down, power prices are going up. So we're calling for a plan, because you know what we see too often? Too often it is workers who are bearing the brunt of industry change. There is no plan to help them and they're being left on the scrap heap. That is shameful. They're out of jobs, they're in insecure work. It is absolutely devastating, financially as well as mentally. And job losses from industry and change like this, they affect communities like Tassie so much greater, because we have lots of regions or towns that rely on one or two big employers or industries staying the course. And that's really scary. Like, it's really scary if you're a worker. It's really scary if it's your mum or dad's job and they don't know if they're going to be able to put a roof over your head because an industry leaves or closes and exits your town. So what do we need to do, right? I've got a message for the Morrison Liberal government. Instead of being captured by wealthy vested interests, could they stop denying the science, denying the reality, and denying the practical support that workers need to transition to renewable industries? They need that support now. And you guys are all demanding 100% renewables by 2030, and that's the right demand. But I want to add something to that. Our entire energy system needs a complete and utter overhaul. It needs to be run in the public interest, not for private businesses. Renationalise the grid. Bring it back into public ownership. Are we really supposed to believe? Are we really supposed to genuinely believe that big business that only cares about making money is going to, out of the goodness of their heart, act on our demands for renewable energy? Of course we don't believe that. So we need to make them. Who's going to plan it? Who's going to coordinate it? Who's going to make it happen if it's not our government? It is their role. And so we need to plan, and we need to plan early. We don't need to wait until industries are shutting down and thousands of people are unemployed and the environment has been desecrated. We need to do it now. And we need to wrap our arms around people in our regions financially and do everything we can to help them. And why wouldn't we do it here? Why wouldn't we do it in Australia, which is abundant with some of the globe's most renewable energy sources, with wind and solar and tidal and geothermal? Why wouldn't we lead on this? Because you know what? There are jobs in renewables and there are plenty of them. but they have to be publicly owned. So, our fight for good jobs, for sustainable jobs, for a jobs guarantee for workers is your fight. Students are fighting for our futures, and so are we. I think all of us want hope. Workers and their communities are scared for the future, and Conservatives, however, are more interested in manipulating those fears for political gain than they are about finding a solution. I speak to you as the next generation of Tasmanian workers and union members. We want to make sure you've got a good, secure, decent job to go to in a publicly owned renewable energy future. So, if the planet is worth saving, it's worth having good jobs in it, right? Yeah. So it's going to take a fair bit of work for us to achieve this. It's going to take a lot of work. We are so far behind, and we all know that here. So there's a big body of work to do. The union movement is up for it. Are you up for it? Are you up for it? Well done, everyone. We look forward to working with you.